Welcome to Boy Time Podcast. We're gonna get litty time, yeah. Oh, it's your Boy Time Podcast. Coming in with the slam dunk of a theme song.
Hi ho ho, it's me, Matthew Lillard, back at it again with a new episode of the Boy Time Podcast. And as always, I'm joined by Just Babby.
Roar.
Yeah, this might be the new norm, depending on what happens. But Paul is out for a period of time. We'll be talking to him more about what's going to be going on later this week, but let's just say Paul's real busy. Yes. But that's fine. We'll make I already said we'll make Freddie Mercury and the show must go on.
Yeah, you did that last week.
I did. I don't know.
We'll make like Travis Scott and continue to keep going despite the deaths of one Paul.
Paul's not dead. Just gonna throw that out there right now. He's not dead. Yet.
Yet.
I don't know. Here's to hoping.
We all die one day. So.
Yeah. So let's just jump right into it. We actually have a slam dunk episode today. Got a lot of news. A lot of stuff came out. And we watched a lot of stuff. We talked last week about Twin Peaks. But we watched the film. And we've started The Return. Just the first 2 episodes. And we watched Over the Garden Wall. And I guess we'll do just a short little thing about that. Because we both already seen it before. But this would have been your second time seeing it. So see how much you like it the second time. But we'll get to that later. Okay. Let's start off with the least amount of news. And that is actually gaming. Which is surprising. Because gaming has kind of been dominating the news cycle for the past couple weeks. But there wasn't really anything big. Except for one thing, and that was the Elden Ring gameplay thing. At least on my end of stuff that I cared about. I don't know, maybe... Oh, Call of Duty came out, but I don't really care about that.
Call of Duty came out.
Call of Duty did come out.
I might have to walk back on my statements, but I'll give an updated thing next week.
Okay. I don't know what statements you'll walk back on.
I was not very nice when I talked about it.
Is it actually the best game ever?
Ago. No. But this might be one of the biggest beta improvements ever.
Okay.
Because that game was absolute garbage in the beta.
Now it's not as bad?
Now it's a completely different game, so I have to reassess it.
Oh, okay. Are you going to buy it?
Yeah, I'll try it.
Okay. Well, then I guess
COD's always one of those is where I don't want to I like the very passive games where I can just kind of jump in and not have to have anything prior.
Right.
Just if I need to listen to an album or a podcast, launch Call of Duty.
Yeah. And that's a good game to do that too.
Yeah, we'll see. But it looks like a complete different game.
All right,
but
well.
The zombies mode is absolute garbage though, so.
Yeah, Treyarch has been trending for 2 or 3 days straight. I guess they did a oopsie doopsie.
It's not really their fault. I think it's Activision pulling them in. It's hey, we need some more pulling power for our game. Can you make a zombies mode really, really quick?
Oh.
They're no. But then they did it anyways, so.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But I bought it for the multiplayer and campaign, so. Because the multiplayer looks really fun.
Okay.
Surprisingly.
Can you fly a plane?
Happened. But no. It's Call of Duty. It's a Modern Warfare reskin, but the maps are gorgeous.
Oh, okay.
And I don't like World War II, but the way they did this, where they just didn't care about realism and multiplayer, is the perfect way to go. Because you can just make monstrosities of weapons. Because World War II games get so boring.
But at least multiplayer ones, campaign wise.
Yeah,
that's interesting to me.
Yeah, campaign's always interesting. It's just the multiplayer for World War II games I never liked.
Yeah.
But
With this one, they just said, screw it. Like, you want 15 attachments on a World War II gun when half of these things weren't made yet? Go for it. That's the perfect way to go about it. You could
I
do
think
like
so.
akimbo sawed-off shotguns with sniper scopes on them and all that crazy stuff, which is the best part of Call of Duty. So they swayed my opinion on it within a matter of 2 days. So
Okay.
I'll give a review next week. But
Well, stay tuned then.
yes,
We'll be back.
I guess the CS:GO major is happening now too.
Is Cloud9 going to win?
Cloud9 doesn't even have a team anymore. That's how long it's been.
Wow.
It's been 2 years. But
Wow.
yeah, Counter-Strike is still like one of the best esports, despite Valve not caring about their video game.
Yes.
It's always a sad thing where like the events and the entertainment and like the matches themselves, the quality of it are just like so S tier, it's insane. But then Valve doesn't care about the game. So it's like a two-way thing.
Yeah.
And it's all third-party production. Meanwhile, Riot has like an entire soundtrack and like opening music video segment for their worlds and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
I like the competition between games, and then I can enjoy watching both of them.
Yeah. And I think Counter-Strike definitely benefits from being an esports thing the longest, I think, at this point.
Absolutely.
Because
Like 20
Quake's not a
25
thing.
years,
and
20 years.
Yeah. Like the older, I guess Halo, but like who watches Halo esports?
Nobody
you
watches
know?
Halo.
Yeah.
No, Counter-Strike is like the number one FPS, like competitively. And I think it will be for a while still. But at least viewer count wise, Valorant's getting there, but it'll be a while.
Until Valorant 2 comes out.
Yeah. Until we have like another year of Valorant and there's a Worlds for Valorant. Although
Yeah.
Champions is next month, which will be their first Worlds technically.
What
so
is
we'll see how that
Worlds?
goes. It's just basically like the big tournament, like the Super Bowl of like the year. They have their circuit that starts every year, which is different than Counter-Strike. So it's more organized and easy to follow, but there are a lot more games.
Okay.
But as of now, I've been really enjoying the CS:GO major, just catching up. I haven't been in tune with the scene for like 2.5 years, so it's interesting to see where everything is. But the quality of the games are like absolutely insane, because that's just how Counter-Strike is. Counter-Strike's just kind of magical. Everything else about the game I can't stand, like the way that it's run and everything. Like from a casual perspective, I do not want to play that game again unless I'm playing with like all of you guys.
Yeah.
Because that's where it's fun. But I don't want to pay a third-party system just so I can have a quality matchmaking experience.
Yeah,
But on the
sucky.
Professional level, fantastic.
Yeah, it's you know, it's decent to play with other people, but it just it really wears on you after a while.
It really does.
But
now they have like the new operation and you can play short games, so it's like 1st to 9.
Oh, okay.
So they're doing some stuff for casuals. We just need the higher tick rate servers.
Yes, it needs to run better.
Yes.
Well, that could be epic later if they ever fix it, which
Later.
is probably
not.
Yeah. But here's to hoping, you know. But is that all you had for gaming? Don't want to cut
That's all
you
I have
off.
for gaming.
Okay. I wanted to talk about Elden Ring for just a tad bit. I guess I don't really need to go over what Elden Ring is. I feel like if you don't know what it is by now, you're living under a rock.
True.
It's like one of the probably like the highest anticipated game that's coming out recently, or like relatively soon. Like Cyberpunk was kind of this way, and then it came out, and then everyone was disappointed, and then they were like, let's go to Elden Ring, which is guaranteed going to be an amazing experience.
And not at all mirror the same thing Cyberpunk went through.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit worried. And a lot of people are very, very happy with the gameplay showcase, and there's things that I like. There's things that I don't like. I guess we'll go over the things that I like. I didn't write down any notes for this, so this is not going to be super organized. But I like the world and graphics, you know, look great, but so did Cyberpunk. So take that with a grain of salt. I don't know how this game runs. That's going to be the kicker. I know that, like, I mean, it's still slated to come out for last-gen systems, so hopefully that works.
That's a big red flag.
Yeah, this game
We
has
need to
been
stop giving last gen consoles games.
well.
of
I
this
mean,
scale.
it's supposed to the new God of War is getting a last game or last gen, and the new Horizon is, but like even Breath of the Wild had a last gen. Like it was on the Wii U too, but nobody ever
Yeah,
talks
I
about that.
suppose, but yeah,
It's just, yeah, these games have been in development for so long.
right.
Like this is delayed George R.R. Martin's book. That's not confirmed, but that's my headcanon, is that he's been working on this game for so long that he hasn't come out with the last Game of Thrones book. Which
Possible.
is probably not, because I think the last book came out in like the early 2010s, so, or maybe before then. I don't know. I haven't read them, but yeah. So I mean, it looks good. Gameplay wise, this is where I'm starting to get a little disappointed. It looks near identical to Dark Souls, and
True.
I'm like, frick. Dark Souls is probably my least favorite From Software franchise thing. Followed, like, or not followed, but I guess like right ahead of that would be Bloodborne, because that one is near identical to Dark Souls, but just a little bit different. And then Sekiro is just a completely different beast, and it's my favorite. But this just looks like it's going to be Dark Souls, but open world. And that's kind of lame, if I'm being honest. Like I've seen the From Software boys like get really excited because they haven't. I don't know why they're so excited, because they're like, dude, it's just the same thing over and over again. Let's get excited that it's a Dark Souls. But it's fine. There seems to be a bigger emphasis in magic and summoning, which is cool.
That is cool.
I will say that usually summoning things in any game is not my play style. I like to get in there and do stuff myself. But it is cool that they're kind of switching up things a little bit. Dark Souls did have some magic stuff, but again, I hardly ever touched it because I have a sword and I'm going to hit things with the sword. So I don't know. I will probably check it out. I never got an email, so I did not get accepted into the closed beta thing, network test.
Darn.
So that is a little unfortunate. They went over co-op a little bit. Not entirely sure how this works. It looks like it kind of runs like other From Software stuff. I guess with, not including Sekiro, because Sekiro didn't have anything like this. But it looks like that just other people are going to be able to join like your campaign. So I don't know if they're going to like also get the stuff that you get when you like loot things, or if you get the like XP or souls or whatever it is. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that's in the air. But it looked interesting. I will be playing it. I'll give it a shot. I think I've tried every From Software game since Sekiro, and I have been kind of disappointed by all of them. And by all of them, I mean Demon Souls, because I didn't play Dark Souls Remastered because I'm not a masochist. But I'll try it out. But yeah, the horse is funny. You can summon it just out of nowhere. That's crazy.
Let's go.
You've never done that before. And the character design was pretty cool. Like they were showing like one of the bosses, and it was like a big thing of arms. And then there was another boss that was just a guy on a horse. And that one was kind of lame. But who knows? The guy on the horse boss in Sekiro was one of the best ones, because he taunted you from across the realm and like was just screaming at you as you watched him approach you like from a mile away. It's pretty funny. But I digress. It's like 20 minutes on YouTube, so if you are interested in Elden Ring gameplay, there is plenty of it. I will say it is this is just a side note about the video. It was a little bit suspicious because it wasn't continuous. They would show us like 30 seconds at a time and then fade to black and then fade into another clip. which really kind of makes me worried, especially since we just had that delay. Makes me think that the game is not, running very well if they have to, not show a continuous clip of gameplay. But, who knows? I could be wrong, and this could be the best game ever. But I would not say that this is going to be a masterpiece or anything like that. I don't even think it'll be better than Dark Souls 3. And Dark Souls 3 is...
Wait.
Yeah, I know. And Dark Souls 3 is the one that I play the least, even though it's the best Dark Souls game. But let's move on from gaming, unless we want to talk about gaming reviews of what we played this week. I haven't played very much.
I haven't played very much.
Okay.
I'm just in the second city in Hades, or second area. So.
Okay, you got some more to go then.
Yeah, I got ways to go. I just can't find the time to sit down for that one a lot.
Hades is a tough one.
I pick it up for like an hour at a time, and then have something else to do, and then come back 4 days later and forget where I was at.
Well, we can talk about it when you eventually beat it.
Yeah.
But what have I been doing? I played. I got Shadow of the Colossus, the Blue Point remake. It was on sale on the PlayStation Store for $10. I was like, yeah, I should probably play Shadow of the Colossus. I've never played it before. I'll play the Blue Point one. And I've just beat the first 2 Colossus. I just got it yesterday. But yeah, it's pretty good. I'm not usually a big fan of... I think it's Team Eco is the developer that made it. Made The Last Guardian, Eco, and then Shadow of the Colossus. And I don't know. Their stuff just is a little bit wishy-washy for me, but this game seems to be pulling a whole lot of stops. I think this is probably their best title, which I don't think is a hot take at all. But I might finish it. I think it's relatively short, so I might have a review of that next week, along with the Call of Duty review. 2 polar opposite games.
True.
But that's okay. Okay, we got probably an equal amount of stuff to talk about in show and movie. And then I know we got some music stuff. So, we'll just go show, I guess. I guess first thing that came out this week, we got a trailer for the new Star Wars show, the Boba Fett show. That is coming out on the 29th of December. I don't know. There's not a whole lot about it that you could really gather. It's just Boba Fett kind of taking over for Jabba the Hutt now that he's dead. But what is interesting is that he seems to be following kind of a lawful evil archetype, which is my favorite character archetype for a protagonist-antagonist kind of thing. But the only thing I'd be worried about is if it's going to be able to differentiate itself enough from The Mandalorian, which is another seedy underbelly of Star Wars show, albeit with way more fan service and with a baby Yoda, and I don't think that's going to be in this show. But who knows? Maybe it is. I guess we'll see. But that is a thing. And then the other little bit of news... we got the release date for the new season of Always Sunny, dude.
Yes, sir.
That is coming back on December 1st. And it is confirmed to be next day on Hulu.
Perfect.
So, yeah, that's a little bit exciting. They did not do that for, ever. This is the first time they've done that. They had been following the FX model of, let's wait a year and then have it come out on Hulu right before the new season starts. Yeah, like what Saul does. And yeah.
Every AMC thing does that.
Yeah.
So.
But now that Disney owns Fox, they can just expedite it. So, great. Monopolies are fun.
Weekly basis then?
Yeah, we'll probably just...
the whole season.
Yeah, well, yeah, we can just watch every week. Just a little break.
Yeah.
They're probably just going to be short 22-minute things anyways, so whatever. And then the rest of the stuff that we have in show news is stuff we have to talk about. We have a couple discussions, actually. Over the Garden Wall we watched first. We watched that last weekend on All Hallows Eve and November 1st.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. This is my 4th time watching the show. This is your 2nd time. So I guess let's go over that. What do you think of the show in general? Like, background stuff.
I really liked it the first time. I think I do like a little bit more the second time.
Yes. You appreciate it a whole lot more. That's what I've noticed.
I think that's a good thing with limited things in general. Is
Yes.
they're very tight-knit and they're very rewatchable, which is perfect.
Yes.
Especially for something that revolves heavily around like a season. So.
Right. And it's so memorable too. Like,
it's very memorable.
Even though I'm watching it, like, I've watched it, let's see, once my first year and then twice my second year and then once this year. Like, I still remember, like, every single episode and the general beats and stuff.
And I was still new enough to it where I knew every single episode, but I didn't know the ordering of it. So, like, as soon as the episode, like, title came out, I'm like, oh, I know what this one is.
Yeah. I really love that. It's a great show. Is there anything that you noticed the second time around that you didn't notice the first?
I think just like foreshadowy stuff. I don't know if I could call out anything in like specific since it's been like a week.
Yeah.
But
true.
It's just good writing. Like you'll notice stuff on the second time or like little things that'll be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which is good because it seems like painfully obvious once you're seeing it a second time, but on the first time you don't know what's happening.
Yeah. That's like it's the intro of the entire show.
Yeah.
Like the first thing you see breaks down every single episode.
Yep.
There's a shot from every episode. I think that is so cool. And it's like you get to see spoilers.
Spoilers. Go watch it now.
Go watch it now.
Leave the video right now. Do not give us your viewing time. Go watch the show on your local
HBO Max.
HBO Max.
Or Hulu maybe.
Or buy it.
Or buy it.
Actually,
I would buy a
probably
box
good one to
set.
buy it. I'd buy a steel box for that,
I would too. Frick, I'm about to buy that Spider-Man one that's coming
Side
out.
note, I was going to get the vinyl, but it is like $500, so just
what the
chill on
frick?
that one.
Really?
It's a Mondo one.
Oh.
If people know what Mondo is, they do the comic book or movie soundtracks. I have a Last of Us one that was $55, like retail.
Yeah.
So those are very limited, unfortunately, but they're so cool.
They are cool. I've been listening to the soundtrack every now and then.
Yeah, I think there's a Deltarune one coming out that I should probably get on.
Yeah, that would be a good one. Well, frick. I was gonna say that like you get to see Beatrice when she's a human, like in the first 5 seconds, and the dog.
Yeah,
that it turns into the beast, but not the beast. Not the beast. A beast.
Yes.
It's cool. There's a lot of like little details like that, and like around the trim of every single like title card, there's like these little portraits, and each one refers to a different episode or character. It's really cool. But I don't know if I've ever had like an animated show, except for I guess like Adventure Time kind of juggled this pretty well.
Yeah, rewatching Adventure Time, I would definitely say.
I would just say that like the pacing of it is so great, where like one episode can have you like absolutely laughing out loud, and the other one is like so emotional, really pulls on your heartstrings. I guess like BoJack did that too, but this is not. It's more funny than BoJack.
Yeah,
BoJack's
BoJack didn't
bad.
cause, or like this show didn't cause existentialism as much as BoJack.
Yeah, this one is nice.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure. I think last year I showed it to my mom and she liked it. It's just a universal story.
It's a great thing to just put on, and it's short. It's literally like what?
It's
2
10
hours?
episodes of 10 minutes each, so you can knock the whole thing out in like an hour 40.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like people, you can watch it all in one go. I think
Mhm.
I did do that last year.
All ages too. Like it
Oh,
doesn't
for
have
sure.
to be.
I would say like it gets a little scary. Like I
It
don't
gets a
know.
little scary, but like kids at like 10 are fine with it.
Yeah, yeah. Or if your kid watches Goosebumps or whatever.
Or anything nowadays on Cartoon Network, they're good.
True. Yeah. If your kid watches Close Enough, we'll just say that.
Your kids shouldn't watch Close Enough. They should be watching regular classic before they go to Close Enough.
That's true.
Got to pay homage to the original.
Oh, of course. Which I have not seen, but I will
Yeah,
eventually.
we need to get you on that. Yeah.
I think after Twin Peaks, we're going to do Flapjack and then
Mhm.
something, and then I think we'll do regular show as our intermediary.
I haven't seen the ending of regular show. So.
Oh, okay. I hear that
That's the
Mordecai and Rigby actually die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I know there's a movie as well that is
A film?
mixed feelings. I think.
Oh, okay.
Can't remember.
Well, speaking of animated show films, that actually transitions well into our
God, it
second
does.
topic. Adventure Time Distant Lands, episode 4. 4.
Yes.
The one about Peppermint Butler. What'd you think, huh?
I think going in, this one was like the most vague because
Yes.
it was a Peppermint Butler only one, and they put it after the episode that was pretty much the end of the series as we know it.
Yes,
But I really enjoyed it.
I did too.
I think his animation gets so much better on every single one, and I'm actually blown away at how good his like world building is still. I mean, the guy made Adventure Time,
Yes.
which that's like a huge success in world building, but
Mhm.
every single like I'm just glued to the screen every time I watch Adventure Time because the backgrounds are like my favorite animation thing I think ever. Is like his color palette and attention to detail in his backgrounds is absolutely insane.
Mhm. That was actually something I wanted to pay attention to when the credits
Mm-hmm.
were rolling. I wanted to see how involved Pendleton was. He's not. He's like
He's not
hardly
really.
involved. And
Yeah.
I noticed, I think, if just based off of the names, I did not do any digging, but it almost made me think that this one was sent off to like a different animation house, possibly in Asia, because there was a lot of Asian names in the credits in like the animation.
And they did a lot of
department.
anime tropes, not
Yes.
just in this one, but throughout like the whole Distant Lands series.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot more anime tropes coming in, which is cool because Japanese animation like works and American animation works pretty well,
Yes.
and they don't without like the over weird anime stuff,
Yeah.
which I don't like. So
I don't either.
combining these in a good way is like okay, I enjoy that.
Yeah. There were moments that it like almost reminded me of like a Steven Universe X
Yeah,
Adventure Time. Like the character design of his roommate could have been like
Mhm.
straight out of Steven Universe. But I did enjoy this one. It might be my least favorite out of the 4, but
I think I'd put it there, but
frick, that Finn and Jake one is great. I think the Marceline and Princess Bubblegum one is actually my favorite.
yeah, Obsidian's my favorite, and then the Finn and Jake one,
Yeah. So I think we probably have the same. 'Cause,
probably the same listing.
Yeah, BMO's just like barely
BMO's
above
great,
this
too.
one.
BMO's like a visual masterpiece.
Yes. So I don't know. I've heard rumblings that they're going to be doing more of these
I hope so.
Distant Lands. I hope so too. It's a nice
I don't
like
even need 'em,
surprise.
like, regularly, like pace them out like one a year or something. Just anything to like kind of get me back here because there's still lore building and world building that's happening in every single one of these.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially with all the different time periods they're going through.
Right. Some of them were like prequels and sequels. I didn't remember Peppermint Butler turning into a little baby.
I didn't either until like they showed the flashback. I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen.
Was that? Oh, that was at the arc where like the other, bubblegum people were there,
Yeah.
right? Like her family.
Like near the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The end of that show was all like huge arcs,
It
and I
was
have a
all over the
hard
place,
time. Yeah. Which is it's good. I enjoy that show a lot. So yeah, I think like basically their pacing of what they're doing now would be fine. It's like I don't know, they're doing like twice a year. and that's fine.
That works for me.
It's a nice little surprise. Like, we were going on HBO Max to watch Over the Garden Wall, and then we saw that the Peppermint Butler was out. So it was I don't even know how timely this is.
Because I think the same one for the Finn and Jake one, I saw people talking about it. I'm like, wait, that's out.
Yeah, because you sent that to me.
Yeah.
I want to see when this came out. Do you know when this last episode came out?
I don't remember.
Uh,
Because I think we got to the Finn and Jake one like a day or two late.
Yeah, I think so. Wizard City came out on September 2nd?
Wait, really?
Are you kidding me? We are way behind the curve on this one.
All right, I thought this was new.
I
haven't seen anybody talking about it.
I mean, this is according to Wikipedia, so I don't know if this is accurate.
Okay.
But probably, because I don't know why they would make that up.
Yeah.
Let me check out the wiki. If I go to Wizard City, that came out on September 2nd.
Well, we are late.
We are very late. 2 months late, factually.
That's
okay.
a first for us.
Yeah, we're on top of the ball
Usually
and
we're on top of these
everything.
things. Yeah.
Like that time we're watching a 25-year-old television show.
Of course. I feel like a lot of people are revisiting Twin Peaks, though, or watching it for the first time. So
I don't know
that's
about
a common
nowadays.
thing to go back.
I know that it was a big thing in 2017, because that's when
Yeah.
I started watching it. Because it was like popular on Netflix, because the new one was coming out. But then I don't know how many people are rewatching Twin Peaks nowadays. Now that David Lynch has more or less gone in the dark. He made that thing about the monkey, and then he talked about the weather over quarantine. But I don't know, like, I don't think he's made a movie or done anything besides that. So I don't know how interested people are in David Lynch. I mean, you know, if he comes back, people will be, but
For sure.
yeah, that kind of wraps up our show discussions. We have some movie stuff to get to. Okay, so just a little bit of movie news. Very brief movie news, but I talk about everything that Taika Waititi does because he's one of my favorites. And it is announced that he is adapting a French graphic novel into a movie called The Incal. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. INCAL. So
Everything in French, I like have to double guess it to be like, wait, this is French, so it's probably gonna sound nothing like it's spelled.
Yeah, so I don't know. I doubt I'm pronouncing that right. I had no idea what this was. Obviously, I'm not French. Neither is Taika Waititi, though, so don't ask me how he found this. He's from New Zealand, so I don't know exactly how he found out about this. But I got a little plot synopsis. This was in the announcement tweet for it. It centers on a private investigator who stumbles on a mystical artifact with great power coveted by many factions across the galaxy. So it's like a sci-fi thing. I don't know. Could be interesting. In terms of Taika Waititi stuff, we're already expecting. He's, doing the new Thor movie. He's making the movie about... I don't remember his name. Internet Historian made a whole video about it, like an hour-and-a-half documentary about this guy, and I don't remember his name. It's the guy who was with Blackbeard. I don't know. He's making a movie about pirates, and now he's making this. Interesting spread. I'll just say that. And he's making a Star Wars movie. I forgot about that, but I think that's still in pre-production. So, yeah, add that to the list. That's probably going to be a good one. I'm giving a very early thumbs up because I love him. I would kiss him on the mouth if he wasn't too busy kissing 2 women. Yeah, deep cut. We have to talk about some films.
Oh boy.
First and foremost, Fire Walk with Me.
Yes.
We watched Fire Walk with Me, the Twin Peaks film from 1993. What did you think?
I really liked it.
I
think-
agree.
Yeah, I think he wanted to make a movie and show what the show would really be like if it wasn't a TV show in the 90s.
Yep.
And I think it worked pretty well. Characters were 100% like, still in character.
Mm-hmm.
There didn't seem to be any weird oh, this didn't translate well or anything.
Well, I would hope so because it was a year later.
Yeah. I think that we're gonna get that more with the return, but
We'll see.
you never know when things get movies. Like even animation movies can get kind of weird sometimes,
True.
continuity wise. But yeah, it definitely felt more like a David Lynch, like that whole sequence at the end of the show just turned into a movie,
Yes.
which is good. I like that stuff. It keeps you interested. Yeah, overall, I thought it was a pretty good segue into where we're going now. Just giving more context to everything.
Yeah.
The Donna switch out, I couldn't even really notice. Like, she looked exactly like Donna until they did a close up of her.
Yeah.
I think it was just because of the hair, but she had the mannerisms and everything down, even the speech down. I was like, whoa.
This is what I was talking about earlier because we've been watching The Return, or that's the new show, and these people are great actors. I would say everybody in the main show, except for James, and
We're in the James hate club.
yeah,
So.
I don't know if that's a hot take.
I don't know.
I really
just
have
don't
no
like
idea. But I don't even think his acting is particularly great.
Yeah.
And also Sheriff Truman's acting is fine. The moments when
he wasn't yeah.
Yeah, he got explosive a couple times, and I wasn't too impressed. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it felt kind of awkward.
Yeah, which he hasn't been in The Return yet. We're only 2 episodes in.
No.
But they've kind of been slow dripping old characters in. So we might see him. I don't know.
The David Lynch 2 episodes of establishing shots.
Yep.
And plot.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot to say right now.
No, we can just wait till next week. I feel like we're just
This is
one
gonna
big
take a
intro
while.
still. Yeah.
This there's 18 episodes. I saw that for some reason when I read an article about The Return coming out, they listed it as there's 18 hours coming out, and it's why didn't you just say 18 episodes? Why would you specify? But that is accurate. Every single one is pushing the wire. Even if it's just the music is playing over a shot of a river. I don't remember what the first episode was like. Wasn't it a babbling brook? It's been too long.
remember.
It's 2 days ago. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was way too long ago.
But enough about The Return. It's Fire Walk with Me time. All of these guys are great actors, but they're never in anything else. So yeah, even the person who's Donna completely nails someone else's mannerisms, does it perfectly, and does a great
year
job.
after the
Yeah.
show. Yeah.
It probably took months and months of rewatching Twin Peaks and working with David Lynch and other acting coaches and stuff just to be in this one thing, and I've never seen her in anything else ever again. And it's okay. I don't know exactly why this is, or I don't know. David Lynch just has this effect on people where they're never in anything. Except I think Naomi Watts was in Mulholland Drive, but let's not talk about that. Nobody even knows who she is anyways. But Fire Walk with Me, it takes everything that was hinted at in the show and shows it, because it's a prequel. And also answered one of my questions, which is, was Leland raping his own daughter?
Yes.
That was something that was been going through my mind the entire time we were watching the show, and it turns out the answer was yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Yeah, that was a little bit uncomfortable, but to be honest, on brand.
Very on brand.
Very on brand. Yeah. What I will say about The Return, if David Lynch is directing every single one of these, this is going to be rough for me.
We're never gonna have like a concrete episode.
Like, frick. There's so much going on. I'm having a
Yeah,
really
there's a lot of
hard
brain
time.
power required to watch a David Lynch thing.
Well,
We
for
have an hour
sure.
of it every night. So.
Yeah. I had to take like 2.5 weeks off from watching Eraserhead to Mulholland Drive because it was like, I can't. I need to take a Wes Anderson break, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, that was. It's a little rough. But
It is. I think the surrealism was a lot better in the film, though. The
yes.
painting thing was like fantastic.
Yes. I would agree. I forgot about the painting
My
thing.
favorite part,
Yeah.
especially with like the angel. I was like, ooh, that's some good stuff right there.
When it hits, it hits.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's a lot of lollygagging, which wasn't in Fire Walk with Me. I would
Not
say
really.
that Fire Walk with Me is probably my favorite David Lynch movie, which isn't really saying a whole lot, if I'm being honest. I don't know if that's a hot take. I don't know why I'm so concerned that people are going to be angry about me about my David Lynch takes, because if they care about David Lynch enough to care, then I don't care about them. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
But yeah, that just goes to show that like the movie budget and kind of getting David Lynch off the leash, because even when David Lynch was like directing an episode, and there would be like a little bit, there'd be like 10 minutes of like wacky crazy stuff, and then it would like go back to James and Donna being like, I want to break up and go, and Donna's like, I'm sad, I want to go with Laura. And then it would just be okay. That's more my speed.
Yeah.
I miss Andy. Andy is such a cutie.
I do miss Andy.
Although he was in it for just a hair in The Return so far, and it's still him. The actor still got it down. Also, Shaggy is in The Return. How are we not talking about Shaggy in The Return?
That was a plot twist.
Matthew Lillard showing again that he has one of the biggest ranges in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
I would say that Matthew Lillard is one of the most underrated actors. He's very good. But he was Shaggy. So, but everything else I've seen him in, like I've seen like clips of him in other stuff, and he's like really good. But everyone knows him because he was Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo movie. And also he voice acts Shaggy in most things. I believe they switched him out in Scoob, but everything up until, that, he had been Shaggy. So good on you, Matthew Lillard. Kind of a shame that you killed that chick, maybe. I don't know. I guess we'll see in 2 weeks. Probably 3 weeks. It's probably going to take us 3 weeks to finish The Return.
We got 16 more episodes.
Got 16 more episodes. If we take like a couple nights off a week.
You could usually do like 6 a week.
Well, I'm thinking if we don't need to be talking about this live, but
No, we don't. But
yeah,
people need to know.
People do need to know when we'll be talking about Twin Peaks: The Return in all of its glory, and whether or not we think it's great.
Theirs,
That is true. Can we just like go over our plans, like go through our agendas?
Here's my weekly schedule, in depth.
Oh, good. Now everyone will know how lonely and boring you are.
Yeah, that's true.
But enough about Twin Peaks and David Lynch. I hate that guy anyways. Let's talk about Last Night in Soho again.
Yes, for the second week.
Well, you watched it.
I watched it.
You watched it
so
last.
Now we can do a spoiler review instead of a dumb idiot synopsis.
Yes, I was walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
So spoilers for Last Night in Soho.
You've been warned.
Short, TLDR spoiler-free review. It's good. Go watch it. You cowards.
Idiot. Go to your local theater.
Yeah.
There won't be anybody there if you want a weekday. Just go.
Yeah, I've been doing this fun thing where I go to like the earliest showing possible. So I think I went to like an 11 o'clock on last night.
I wanted to, but the earliest one was 4. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when I wait, I think I'm gonna go see a movie tomorrow, and then that one is at 3.
Okay.
So kind of stupid, but
Yeah.
last night in Soho, what'd you think?
Really good.
Yeah.
I think being in an empty theater enhanced it, honestly. Like, I was chilling.
Yeah, I think there was like
Felt like
2
a
other
home
people.
theater.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even when there's 2 other people, like, there's still people there. It's like a different feeling.
Yeah.
For me, at least. But, like, the whole theater to yourself, it's just you and the film. Pretty good.
Yeah.
This is the
true.
kind of horror movie I like. I don't like slasher films or any, like, overly gross stuff because that's just stupid and I don't want to look at that.
Okay.
But I like stuff where it's like real life issues or like ideas, and then they're portrayed in horror ways. That's why Get Out is like probably like my top.
I was gonna
one.
bring that up. Yep.
Yeah, because it was very similar in that way. I think it does it as well. I don't know if it would be better or worse. I think Get Out has a lot more staying power than this one.
Yeah.
It felt like it was more like there, and kind of more wacky. This one felt a little bit like this is a 2-hour movie. You're getting everything in 2 hours. It closes up nicely. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt it watching the Twin Peaks movie and then this in the same week. There was like a lot of weird connections with like the whole mirror thing and the lighting and the dream sequences, and it was like, oh, there's a lot of overlap here. But I don't get all the weird David Lynch stuff, so I can understand what's happening at all times.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't like an overly complex story or anything.
No.
But I kind of knew like the lady that she rented the room for was Sandy like the whole time.
Yeah, I guess that.
So
too.
that wasn't really like a mind blowing thing. I kind of knew that.
Yeah, I
like,
thought that
probably
was
after the
always
first
implied.
That's what I thought too.
Because like she said that like she owned the place for a long time, and then like it showed a woman in like the 60s who would like be that age now. I'm like, oh,
Right.
so that probably is her. And then they like brought it up like it was a big twist. So, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it was a little weird. I mean, it was still like impactful, but it lost some of it because I knew what was happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't feel like an Edgar Wright movie besides the soundtrack, I think.
Yes.
The soundtracking was really good in the Edgar Wright fashion. But I would say even some color correcting wise, in the dream sequences specifically, that was Edgar Wright, but not like just normal like movie stuff, even dialogue stuff. It wasn't really Edgar Wrighty.
No.
Not like it hurt it at all. I think it worked really fine with what it was. I think if it was like an Edgar Wright directed horror movie, it'd be a little different. Like if he had a lot of power in it. That'd be like more like a Tarantino film almost.
True.
It'd be a little bit more crazy.
Yeah. They have been kind of trading off influences. I've noticed that sometimes like there's some like Edgar Wright stuff and Once Upon a Time and like Django. So like
Yeah.
they're definitely influencing each other.
I think they complement each other quite well.
I think so too.
Because they know how to have fun, but also tell like very impactful stories.
Yes.
And I think the soundtracking helped this one so much in terms of like pacing and everything.
Yeah.
It wasn't overbearing.
Edgar Wright has kind of turned into the soundtrack
he's
guy.
Great. He's great. James Gunn does it really well as well, but I think Edgar Wright does it better. Yeah.
Yes. I think before, like in the olden days, like the guy who used like non-traditional or like non-score music to score their movies, that would have been Scorsese, but whatever, I hate that guy.
Walking here.
Yeah, I'm walking.
Make a crime movie over here.
Let's talk about New York City.
Let's talk about New York and the gangsters in it.
Except now he's talking about the Osage County murders in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And I will be watching that one because Todd's in it. And I have to watch it. Actually, I didn't see Jungle Cruise, so I guess I'm a hack and a fraud.
Oh yeah, I guess
Well, whatever.
that's fine.
But yes, in terms of like using non-traditional music, I would say James Gunn, Tarantino, and Edgar Wright. I'd say Edgar Wright probably does it the best.
I think Edgar Wright does it the best. I'd put Tarantino next, but only because of
Yes.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time uses it so well.
Yeah,
But
and with that
James
movie being as long as it is, it's such like a good breakup, so it's not like boring.
Right, which I don't want to say it's my favorite, but it's probably up there.
It's great.
I love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I think Django still takes it for me, but
It's not my favorite. I think Django's probably
Yeah.
my favorite, but
Yeah.
it's up there. That is a hot take. There is a lot of people that hate that movie.
there is for some reason.
I don't
know
get
why.
it. I don't.
I remember loving that in the theater, and like, yeah, it was great.
I saw it like 2 or 3 times.
The suspense in that movie without it being present, but like knowing what's happening, it was like oof, oof.
Yeah.
This one was different because like it was very linear, which was fine. Because I got to learn about the characters during the day, and then during the night when stuff went off the rails, there was a lot more context to things.
Yes.
But absolutely, like I think the theater only is the right way to go here because the sound was like fantastic sound design. Being in an empty theater directly in the middle, best seat, like the audio all around me and stuff, like that was perfect. You get like the whispers in the left and the right channel,
Oh,
and
frick.
it's fantastic.
Yeah,
It just added to it so much more. And that's like perfect horror movie stuff. It's like the perfect setting to be in too. Like no people around you either. It's just you in this theater.
Yes.
And you just get immersed in it. It's great. The lighting design and everything, like the red and blue lights, constant throughout the film. I think like the shadow guys, those were like extremely well done.
I agree. Yes. Those
It's
were
like the faces being almost recognizable but not.
It's
And,
like
the whole the AI generated thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like that photo where it's like it's
Name
like
one
someone's
thing
dressed.
you
Yeah, it's like name one thing. That one photo where it's like been generated to be so close to being recognizable, but not actually. It's kind of what I was getting from those guys, and then it really like made that moment at the end where like you did see their faces. Like that made it way more impactful. That like the suspense of like, you know, I guess like the whole point is that it's like it's a whole lot of like faceless men who were essentially
but then it
raping her.
transforms.
But yeah. But I want to bring back the point that I was bringing back last week about this being a perfect complement to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm glad you agree. I haven't seen anyone else say this, but also it's kind of an odd connection.
I do think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood does it better, but I think this one still is very faithful to like, especially the history of London, because like, man, that's an old city right there. And I think just taking the small part of Soho and going on a history lesson through it is still pretty good.
Right.
Not as good as Once Upon a Time in Hollywood because I don't know, that movie's just got such like a magic around it.
Yeah.
But this one, like, I definitely like learned a lot about it, and then the way that they'd use like the old venues, and then like they go back to today, and like the one venue was like a massage parlor, parlor now, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that was cool. That was a neat touch. But I think specifically why I connect it to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I feel like they're viewed as almost like opposite sides of the same coin. Because Tarantino, I don't want to say he glorified old Hollywood, but just in the
he made
production.
it look very pretty though.
Yes, it was very faithful. He got like all these old cars and like got all these restored old Hollywood downtowns, and everything's so shiny. Like there's not a used heroin needle on the side of the sidewalk like there would be in LA in the 60s or whatever. Or I guess cocaine would be more the thing.
Yeah, it'd be like cocaine.
Yeah, heroin's now. Whatever. But you know, it looks great. Even when he's out in the middle of nowhere, it's picturesque. It's like we're watching Brokeback Mountain when we're on the Manson family farm. But this one, Last Night in Soho, is the same time period, but it's like the inverse of it, where at first it looks like beautiful, And it's like, wow, it's like she's in love with this time period, and she's like super into the culture and the fashion and the music. And like when she goes back to that time period, she's like instantly infatuated with it, takes over everything. And then like there's that switch where you get to see what it was actually like and how crazy it was and how the entertainment actually was in the 60s, which you do get in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, not to the extent that this one does, I think. I think last night...
Yeah, this one hyper-focused on one thing.
It sure does. Which isn't a bad thing.
No, I think it's good that they didn't widen the scope too much, because then it would get too complicated.
Yes. You know, you would need that 3-hour-long runtime to really encapsulate what London was like in the 60s. The entirety of it, like what Tarantino did. But, you know, it's just that grime, that it once like that flip and like, you know, she starts like essentially getting pimped out by her manager, then it's like she starts dreading it, and like everything in the 60s when she's in it looks gross, and it's so dingy, and that's why I think it's great. I think those two should be they excellently pair each other. Same time period and everything, so it's pretty great.
I think like the paranoia aspect was pretty great too.
Yeah.
I think in Fire Walk With Me, the sound design was pretty great, where it would get really intense and loud and just make the chaos even more chaotic.
Yes.
This movie did it as well, but in like a more mixed fashion. I don't want to say I don't like it when David Lynch goes from very loud to very quiet.
I don't like it.
It's just
either.
hard for audio balancing. This one, everyone thinking was leveled correctly, so it worked. But you'd have like all these voices and repeated phrases at the whole time. Like they get worse as the movie went on.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the ending where it's like that one guy after like she had like a million guys ask her like what her name was. Like that was the cop guy, so she didn't even know who to trust at that point. And then that translated to like the daytime where she didn't know what to trust. So just like the paranoia aspect and confusion was like really well done.
Yeah. Frick, I kind of want to see it again now. I feel like I probably will. But where would you rank this bad boy? I don't know. Have you seen all of his stuff?
I've seen most of his stuff.
Probably
I'm
not
missing
the
a couple, but I don't think they're ones that rank like in your top.
So you've seen the Cornetto trilogy?
Yes.
And Baby Driver?
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim?
Yes.
Then you've seen them all.
Okay.
Essentially, there's.
I don't know. It's hard to group between, because this doesn't feel like an Edgar Wright movie.
No, it really doesn't.
But I think I'd put it in the middle.
It's exactly the same. Yeah. That's where I put it. Yeah.
Because I feel like I rate Hot Fuzz and Baby Driver so high, and like I don't know.
I put it.
The End of the World one.
Yeah, the
like
World's End.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
But that was like it's very interesting, but I think I'd put this one above it.
So exactly what I don't know. Where's your Scott Pilgrim?
I don't know.
Because mine's at the very
I feel
bottom.
like I like the idea of that movie more than the actual movie.
I like the first half of that movie, and then it kind of falls off.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably towards the bottom, just because he has better stuff. Like Shaun of the Dead's really good too.
Shaun of the Dead's my second.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we'd probably have the same exact. Mine is Scott Pilgrim, The World's End, Last Night in Soho. You might switch Baby Driver, but
I was going to switch Baby Driver, but that's only because I've seen Hot Fuzz once. I think if I saw it more times, I would switch, because I've seen Baby Driver like 5 times.
Baby Driver's great, but I don't think it's better than Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz. Hot Fuzz is my favorite movie of all time. I do need to. That is my bias. I've seen that bad boy. I think I watched it like 4 times last year. So, it's my
I think I'd go Baby Driver, Hot Fuzz, and then Shaun of the Dead.
I think that is fair.
Shaun of the Dead was cool, but like it's more of like a just like haha cool zombie movie.
It's his first one.
Yeah.
You kind of have to like like he's like, what's popular? Zombies? Okay. Like that's pretty much what got his foot in the door. and then he was able to make something he actually wanted to, which was a buddy cop movie. So, yeah. I don't know if we know what Edgar Wright's working on next. Baby Driver 2. Baby Driver 2. How could I forget?
Without Kevin Spacey, because he's dead.
He is dead. And John Hamm is dead. And
oh, yeah. Frick, we won't get John Hamm.
I love John Hamm so much.
Frick.
He's
Hold
not...
on, Todd.
Oh, dude. If they got...
Actually, Todd would fit pretty well, actually.
Todd's in everything now. He should be in Baby Driver 2.
I love Todd so much.
Frick. Yeah, I love John Hamm. I'm kind of sad. We got to watch Mad Men one of these days.
Yeah, that's like ranked as one of like the best things ever, too. That's a very long series, though.
Is it?
It's like 14 seasons, I think.
No way. Really?
I thought so.
Mad Men. 7.
7, okay.
That's not too bad.
I think it just went for a long time.
It did. That was definitely like an event. 2007 to... why doesn't it say the last episode? 2015?
Yeah.
But like...
Because I was watching Walking Dead when it ended, and they would like always, through the commercials, like hyping up like the last seasons of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like 14 episodes a season.
That's not too bad. It just take a long time still.
Well, yeah, 7 seasons. Each one's an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll take like months.
Yeah.
But
eventually.
We'll get to it eventually. I think I'll pitch this to you live. I think next we watch Succession after Flapjack.
Okay.
Is that kosher?
I don't care.
Okay.
So,
do you know anything about Succession?
No.
Okay, epic. I saw the first 2 episodes and I was like, this is just Arrested Development, but stupid. And then I think that might be the most unpopular thought I have ever said ever.
Okay. I'm still in.
There is, like, I'm pretty sure, like, based on what I've seen, people are going to be using this show in writing classes to, like, how to handle, like, different arcs. It's doing, like, crazy stuff. From what I've seen.
Yeah.
But, like, people have been saying that it's, like, their all-time favorite show, and, like, it's the best show to come out of the golden age of television, which I think pretty much started with Breaking Bad, so I don't know how you get better than that. But I'm willing...
Yeah, we're kind of at a golden age right now, so...
Oh, for sure, yeah. TV shows are getting movie budgets, and HBO is really heading the front.
Killing it.
Absolutely. So this is an HBO show, and it just, I believe their 3rd season just ended, and they've already been renewed for the 4th. And Kieran Culkin is in it, so
yes,
come on, you gotta love Kieran Culkin. Well, I don't know if you would love Kieran Culkin because the one thing we've seen him in is the thing he died immediately in Fargo season 2.
Yeah,
and well, he was in Scott Pilgrim. He was Scott Pilgrim.
That's true. True.
He played his roommate.
Yeah, the gay roommate.
Yeah. And he's just a good old boy.
Yeah.
From what I've seen in the show, he does not play a good old boy. But it's like Arrested Development. It's a rich family that loses their fame, their fortune, I believe. Okay. I don't know. But they're all rich, and it's like, you know, doesn't hold back. Like this is how rich people act, you know. I'm
down for some rich people freaking investigation.
Yeah, so we'll get into that after a fun Flapjack detour.
Yeah, I'm excited for Flapjack.
I am too, especially after Over the Garden Wall.
Every time I watch animation, that's like pure like inspiration, and then like we go to something else, I'm like, well, this is way out of my pay grade, like, inspiration wise.
Right. Well, Flapjack's gonna be difficult because it's probably one of the best. I don't know if I can say that.
I put it like an A and S tier. It's like
it's good.
Yeah.
I when I was watching it like consistently in like end of 2019, it was very good. But I hadn't seen like Adventure Time or BoJack or like anything like that.
Yeah, BoJack is like I think my S+ tier.
It's up there.
It's like it's top 2 and it's not 2. Basically.
I don't know if I could watch it again. It would make me so sad.
Yeah, I don't know if I can watch it again. I've watched certain episodes randomly again just to be reminded of how dang good it is. But
Yeah,
that series is kind of a trip to go through again.
it sure is.
I'm gonna need like the pandemic to be over and me having a normal functioning life before I go back to BoJack.
Right.
Meanwhile, Adventure Time's just as good and not
Well,
depressing.
just not sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny. Aaron Paul is in my favorite live action dramatic show and my favorite animated show.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. Good on you, Aaron Paul. Stop being in the cringy, inspirational, Imagine. He's been in a couple.
Need for Speed movie.
Well, I don't care about that. He can be in all the Need for Speed movies. He was in the Imagine thing,
Yeah,
and he was. There was another like something like that where it's a bunch of rich people being like, "I care about you." It's like, Aaron Paul, just stay in your lane. You're a great actor.
Great actor.
Just act or actually be an activist. Stop being like, saying that you're
Performative.
going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which who knows? He might be. But
He might be. Who knows?
just he needs to stop.
I don't like that. Like no matter when you're doing praxis or not, it's kind of like, I don't need to hear about it,
I don't need to hear about it. Yeah.
or not in the way that they tell people about it. It's like, oh my god, I did this.
I'm a
and-
hero.
Yeah.
Can you guys like thank me? It's like, no, Aaron Paul, stop it. I mean, he did call out Logan Paul when he did the whole Suicide Forest thing. So
True.
you know what?
He's fine.
It evens out.
It's
I'm
just
not
annoying.
mad. It's
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah,
annoying.
It's we're not gonna cancel Aaron Paul for trying to do a good thing.
I wouldn't
even if-
cancel anybody over most things. So
Yeah, unless
yeah.
you're Chris Brown.
unless you're Chris Brown,
Fuck
who
Chris
still
Brown.
has a blossoming career, proving that cancel culture does not exist. People, that's a
Yeah.
different topic.
Yeah, we don't need to be talking about that.
That's fine.
Speaking
we
of
doing?
cancel culture, I was going to talk about the new Wes Anderson film, The French
Okay.
Dispatch. I watched that today. I have been checking show times for about 3 weeks now because I want to see this flick. It has an all-star cast. Henry Winkler is even in it.
Yes, dude.
Yeah. I think this is his first Wes Anderson movie, unless he's been in an animated one.
Seems like a Wes Anderson kind of guy.
He does. But most of his, usual suspects are there. You got Bill Murray, Owen Wilson, Willem Dafoe. I think that's it for mainstays because, Jeff Goldblum's not there. Unless he's goes uncredited and does voiceover. I was trying to pay attention because there's a couple narrators. But I couldn't tell if it was Jeff Goldblum, but I don't think it was. But Tilda Swinton is in it now. I think she's new to the Wes Anderson game, which is shocking, might I add.
She also seems like a perfect fit for Wes Anderson stuff.
Yes. She does a lot of art house indie
Yeah.
movies. So honestly, team up with Wes Anderson more. She was great in the movie. I'm trying to think who else was in it. Oh, Timothy Chalamet. Which I gotta be real. I'm not the biggest Timothy Chalamet fan. I don't know. That is a very hot take, but I was pleasantly surprised. He did a pretty good job. It was a pretty small role. Well, I don't want to say that because he was. I'll get into the story structure later. But Frances McDormand was in this too. Coming hot off the heels of winning an Academy Award for Best Actress. I think she did that for Nomadland. If she didn't, I don't care. She's one of the best. You know what? I'm going to say it. She's probably the best actress working in Hollywood right now. I'll put working in air quotes because she kind of comes, does stuff and then disappears for 10 years. She's working now from 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri until, I guess, this. We'll see if she keeps making stuff. But this movie is a little bit different. I will say my one complaint about Wes Anderson movies, and this is very minor, is that they are all the same. And that is not necessarily a bad thing. But if you've seen more than one Wes Anderson movie, you've just seen the same movie twice. That's not to say that they aren't enjoyable. I enjoy all of the Wes Anderson movies I've seen. This one is my favorite, though. And that's saying a lot because Grand Budapest Hotel is a thing, and that is a great film.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
I do need to see his animated movies. I have not.
That one's good.
I'm sure his animated movies are different, but his live action stuff,
Yeah. It's basically the same thing except it's animated.
I'm sure. I will watch those. I might watch those next weekend, maybe one of them. I'll probably watch Fantastic Mr. Fox first, and then Isle of Dogs. Because I missed the boat on that one. I should have saw that one in theaters.
I have not seen Isle of Dogs either, so.
I love Jeff Goldblum, so I don't know why I missed that one. So I'm a stupid idiot. But suffice it to say, this one is very, very different. Most Wes Anderson movies follow a kind of ensemble of characters. They all have their kind of quirks and stuff, and they all find themselves doing some sort of adventure or trying to complete some sort of objective together, but they all start butting heads, and it's just classic screenwriting. Each one kind of diverts from that path, but they all start at the same spot. This one kind of starts out that way, but structurally is vastly different. But The French Dispatch is a fictional, I had to look this up because the world building in Wes Anderson movies, it could have been real for all I know. It's a fictional magazine from 1960s France. Kind of crazy we're on a 1960s runner, but that's where we are right now.
Yeah. That is what's hot right now, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I don't get it. I thought the 70s were coming back, but
70s, 60s, 80s, it's all like getting meshed together at this point.
I like the 60s the most. I think of the new stuff. I do like 70s fashion. Keep bringing that back because that's hot. But and music too. Because
Yes.
come on.
70s funk.
Oh yeah.
Can't beat it.
Bring the funk. But we got the 60s. It's a magazine, 1960s France. It's an American magazine that is distributed in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, but it's headquartered in Paris. So it's a little bit quirky. But it follows the editor of this magazine, and he essentially gives assignments to all of his head writers. And so each act of the movie, I guess you could say, is a different short story. It's kind of like Ballad of Buster Scruggs, but infinitely better, because I don't think the Coen brothers really understand how to do short stories.
No. They know how to do one or two.
There was a couple that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
I think the Ballad of Buster Scruggs is the best one, and it's the first one. Mm-hmm. Oops. Side note, I don't know what the Coen brothers are doing right now. Please come back and make a real movie. Not that, I don't even know what you would call those. Frick, there's a word for it. Anthology movies. Not that those aren't real, but Coen brothers don't know how to make them. Wes Anderson, on the other hand, does, and he does it with flying colors. But basically, we're just following each of these journalists along as they're covering this story. Owen Wilson's is by far the shortest one, unfortunately. But it goes Owen Wilson for 5 minutes, and then you get 20 minutes of Tilda Swinton. You get half an hour of Francis McDormand, and then maybe 20 minutes of the last guy. I didn't recognize him. This might be his first role, but he did kind of look familiar. So if that guy is a big name actor, sorry, but he gets his own spot. And then the end of the movie. So it feels different just because it's a collection of different short stories. And apparently this movie was inspired by The New Yorker. I did just a little bit of research just because I was curious if this magazine was real. And apparently Wes Anderson said that it was inspired by The New Yorker and his love for short stories, which really is that seems to be on point here. I will say that my favorite one is probably Tilda Swinton's, even though Tilda Swinton's like barely in it. Unfortunately, might I say. Oh, Adrian Brody, he's in it too, and he is another Wes Anderson mainstay. I should have brought that up. But he is in Tilda Swinton's arc, and Benicio del Toro is in Tilda Swinton's arc. There is one of the guys from Grand Budapest Hotel is in that. Henry Winkler is in that arc. It's a great one. It's about an artist who is mentally insane, and then he's in like a.
Not every artist.
Well, I mean, he's in a mental asylum in the 1960s because he murdered 2 people in cold blood. But he was like a renowned painter before that. Or no, he wasn't renowned, but he just painted. And then he goes to jail, and then he like woos one of the prison guards into like letting him paint her naked, and he does that, and it's like super abstract, and it's like modern art, but everyone loves him.
Picasso.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's like, it's kind of like Andy Warhol stuff where it's like kind of paint blotchy, but
Pop
like
art.
Yeah. I don't know enough about art theory to really go into it. But suffice to say, I think stylistically, this is probably one of his best. I only say that because the majority of the movie is in 4:3, and that is probably the best artistic direction you can take. That's not a joke. The majority
No, I know.
of it is, yeah. But unlike Zack Snyder, there was no warning. It just did it.
This is intentional for creative purposes. I need to tell you this so you guys know how to praise me because of it. Because you don't know what you're watching.
Wes Anderson always messes with aspect ratios, though.
Yeah, I like aspect ratio stuff.
Yeah. The way he does it in the past, or I guess the most most obvious example is in the Grand Budapest Hotel, because that movie jumps around to time periods. So like, someone's telling a story of something happening, so then the story would be like in a different aspect ratio, then it would cut back to the person telling the story, and that would be in a different aspect ratio. Kind of helps you differentiate what time period you're in. This one's kind of the same deal. So like most of the stories are in 4:3, and then you cut back to real time, and it's in that 16:9 widescreen. But it's in 4:3 for the majority of the movie. It's in black and white for the majority of the movie, which is weird because Wes Anderson is the color guy. Yeah. That's not to say that there aren't bits of color. It often switches with no real rhyme or reason. Just sometimes it's in color, sometimes it's in black and white. It will be in the same story where it'll just like switch. Sometimes there is a meaning to it. Don't really want to go into that because I do highly recommend this movie, and I think the theater is probably the way to go. So I don't know if how readily available it is. It took a really long time for it to come to my theater.
I only had 2 show times for Soho, so I'm gonna have to see.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
It's a little rough.
I will say that I did catch it at a Marcus Theater, so it might be at your local Marcus Theater. But there are also moments I'm hoping and praying to God that this is the aquatic life of Steve Zissou moment. If you'll remember from my review of that movie was, I think, his first time testing out that stop motion animation that he would go on to make 2 movies in. He does straight up 2D animation sections in this movie. And please, Wes Anderson, make a 2D animated movie, you coward. It is so beautiful when he does it. It looks like a G-dang like painting. It doesn't look like a painting, but It looks like a old graphic novel, like a Tintin graphic novel that like is animated and put to screen. Not like the Tintin movie, because that was in 3D animation and mocap and stuff. But it looks great. And if this is him testing the waters like he did with, oh, that was funny. The aquatic, testing the waters with the life aquatic. That's a very funny joke. But if he's testing the waters, please, Wes Anderson. I think he's making a movie with, it's just another one with Adrian Brody and Bill Murray. Man, is Tilda Swinton in the next one? I think I saw that she was going to be in the next one too. Whatever. So it looks like there's going to be another live action one after this, but yeah, very good. I don't think I'll say anything else about the story, but I would just recommend everyone go see it. I don't see a whole lot of press about it. I know that it's probably going to get nominated for some Oscars stuff because, I mean, it's a Wes Anderson movie. It's like the prettiest movie I've seen because he's the king of style, frankly.
He is.
So, yeah, go see it if you like Wes Anderson stuff, and if you don't, never talk to me again. I hate you.
Coward.
There is some people that don't like Wes Anderson. Probably for
There's always going to be contrarians.
Yeah, these like big people that are like, I'm anti-Wes Anderson. And it's like, really? How can you knock out a guy's entire catalog unless that person is Zack Snyder?
Of course.
Well, yeah, that is the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
Except for 300, which is a absolute masterpiece of a period piece.
Okay, of course.
I haven't seen it, but I just assume because of the
knowing his track run, it's got to be an absolute perfect.
And it's probably in like 2:1 or something, like a really weird aspect ratio. It's like artistic. Maybe 302 is in 300:2 aspect ratio. Just a line.
It all makes sense.
But we have some music stuff to get through. I know this has been a long podcast. We're already at an hour 20.
Yeah, cool.
And we're just starting music.
That's fine. It's only the biggest week in like a month.
Yeah, I know. I knew this one was going to be a doozy.
Yeah, October was fine because it was like paced out, so I could like not have a lot most weeks.
Yeah.
But this week everything decided to happen, I guess. So I could go through releases first or through music related things.
Are you asking for input?
Yeah, I don't know.
I would do music related things, and we can get into what actually happened.
Okay, cool. Music related things. Silk Sonic is dropping next week.
Yes, we got the track list.
We have not heard the single. We do have the track list. 9 tracks, so that rumor was confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
And we got Thundercat on a song.
Let's go, dude.
So, boy, that's going to be, stay tuned for that one. We'll have a first reaction up for that one.
Yeah, that one's going to be great.
A while, yeah.
Yeah.
But next Friday, I'm ready. Yeah. We haven't listened to the new single. I'm guessing you haven't listened.
No, I'm saving it. Yeah.
I'm holding off. People have said it's the best one. So.
Ooh, that
holding off.
That's a ballsy claim.
It is, but I'm not gonna find out until we're recording the whole album.
Me too.
So that'll be happening. I feel like there was some album announcements. I think Saba is back. He had a song. The album's coming soon. I'd probably be checking that out. It's kind of more of like a Chance the Rapper kind of guy, but more soulful.
Okay.
He's been gone for a while, so that'll be good. The big thing that happened, Travis Scott dropped music, and then Travis Scott had a festival.
He sure did.
Yeah, that kind of
Astro
tainted the
World
whole
Festival.
release date. The Astroworld Festival, I think this is the 3rd year. But it had it in Texas, which is your first mistake. I mean, he's from Houston, so
yeah. Well, yeah.
that was your first mistake. This concert venue holds 50,000 people. They oversold tickets.
Oh,
and
it's a Tanacon thing.
Yes, and they had low budget security.
Oh.
There was around 100,000 people there.
Oh, frick.
which is unacceptable on every single
Yeah.
level. I think Rock Nation was the one to put this thing together, and it should have never gone through at all.
No.
Like, knowing how festivals have to get approval from cities and companies and everything, I don't
Mhm.
know how this even happened.
Yeah.
It's still a pandemic, and 50K people is still a lot.
Right.
But
Yeah.
100,000 people. Yeah,
Surprised that only
we've
8 people have died then if they doubled
so
the
far, but there's been a
capacity.
lot injured too.
True.
But
Yeah.
Playboy Cardi shows have been kind of getting a little crazy because fans would like rush in before and like, you know, break down barricades to get in. So
Oh.
like this is kind of the same fan base. It's like this whole like over aggressive trap music
Oh, that's
thing.
whack.
And it's all just like white kids in basketball jerseys. So
Yeah.
but yeah, apparently there was only 2 concession stands with water for
Oh,
50,000
no.
people, which has to be an OSHA violation.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
There's no way it isn't.
Yeah.
Apparently people were selling like pills and everything, which is normal at festivals,
Right.
but like still, there's been multiple, because Travis Scott has endorsed people going crazy at his concerts too. Like he's endorsed the whole like quote unquote raging aesthetic of mosh pits and stuff.
Oh,
But
okay.
these kids don't know how to mosh pit or have never been to a show where mosh pits are a thing.
Yeah.
Because those metal groups put up like a big front, but at their concerts, like the safety is like the number one priority. Like
Yeah.
if someone gets hurt, they stop everything.
Mm.
And mosh pits are very much like a thing where it's like, hey, if there's someone in there that doesn't want to be in there, you get them out.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of like the buddy system.
Mhm.
It's just kind of a thing that happens. Didn't happen here, obviously. Although there wasn't even really like mosh pits from what I saw. It was just there's so many people in one area that nobody could move, and people were like hyperventilating because there's so many people packed in one area.
Right.
And as
Yeah.
someone who's very claustrophobic, that sounds like the worst possible experience imaginable.
Yeah.
Being that tightly in with people, and then music is so incredibly loud and you can't do anything, you're just stuck. That sounds like the worst thing humanly possible. But
Yeah.
yeah. But he stopped the show multiple times because people were passing out, so he'd like try to get paramedics or whatever, which
Frick.
you know that happens. That's happened at his shows before.
Yeah.
But to continue to keep going after like so many people have done it, or like why are you still going? I think part of the reason it was streamed on Apple Music, so you have Apple controlling things as well and be like, hey, this is on a live stream. Can we keep it going?
Yeah, yeah.
This thing should have never happened. Like, period.
Mhm.
I don't know how you can fail this hard at every single aspect of your festival.
But
Like,
this isn't
even
like
when,
Travis Scott's fault, though, right?
It's partly his fault.
Okay.
I would say it's partly his fault, organizers' fault, and probably fans that don't know how to act.
Well, yeah.
There's definitely concert guidelines where you go, and they were not met. Or just like basic human things, you know? People seem
Yeah.
to like lose their mind at concerts, or these concerts, I should say. All the concerts I've been to, people are great.
Yeah.
For the most part, but yeah, should have never happened at all. He did do a response. It wasn't really a good one, but it could just be his PR team stepping in because I'm sure he feels sympathy or whatever. But you know how PR works.
Yeah.
Got to do like this stupid fake response. But we'll see as it develops. But that was a thing for sure.
That was a thing. Yeah.
That aside, though, the stage design was great.
Okay.
Just from what I saw with the triangle thing, I'm like, ooh, that's cool. Yeah. But that should have never happened.
What about the song? Should it have never happened? Or songs?
One of the songs were okay.
Okay.
Mafia was cool. It had J. Cole on it, and J. Cole actually did well,
Okay.
which I guess J. Cole kills features, so I shouldn't say actually, but I don't know. I feel like he's a mixed bag when he goes to like artists like this because it's so far out from him.
Yeah.
But that one was cool. Escape Plan was kind of eh. It was just basic Travis Scott song, but nothing Astroworld or Rodeo quality.
Okay.
I think we're going to be getting a Dystopia mixtape before Utopia, because I think he did that before Rodeo as well. So we'll see what happens. But now with this whole thing, who knows what's happening?
True.
But that was like the biggest surprise of the week, from start to finish. Like, oh, he's dropping music, and then people died at his festival that wasn't organized well.
Yeah.
But Yeah. I mean, so many other festivals, like Tyler has like Flognaw, and those always go well. And I don't know, me and Bab Jab are seeing Tyler in February, and yeah, it should be good. But this was not. I hate festivals, and this just further confirms that I will never be going to festivals.
Yeah, I don't really get that.
I get major like anxiety in large crowds, especially when everybody's like outside and it's hot and there's loud music blaring from every direction.
Yeah, I think you just described my personal
It's like
hellscape.
my worst fear. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that aside, still a great week for music.
I would say
all of
so.
that.
Yeah.
What do we got? We got the Snail Mail album. We got Radiohead's Kid A Amnesiac re-release bundle thing. Amine dropped an EP after his single I talked about last week. And there is a song, Terrace Martin. I have not listened to the whole album yet. Oh yeah, I need to talk about Post Malone on the Weekend first. Let's do that first.
Okay.
Post Malone on the Weekend dropped a song.
They sure did.
I didn't really like it.
Oh.
Is this a hot take?
It is for me. Yeah,
I wouldn't say I didn't really like it. I expected better, I guess. I knew they were going for a radio hit.
Yes.
But I don't know. Nothing really grabbed me. I feel like Post did really well, and the Weekend was just kind of doing it felt like an After Hours beat with Post Malone doing really well, and then the Weekend just taking like a verse that he left off of After Hours and putting on.
Yes, I would agree with that. I mean, I think I enjoy the track a lot. I enjoy the production. It does sound like an After Hours beat, which is not a bad thing because, I mean, come on, After Hours is great.
Oh, it's fantastic.
If this is what's leading into PM4, which is, the rumored title for the new Post project, we got some weirdo singles off this thing.
Yeah.
We got the After Hours one, and we got Playboy Cardi. So I don't know what direction this thing is going to be going in. Hopefully, we can only hope and pray to Jesus Christ himself that Motley Crue is not on PM4.
I wouldn't think he'd put it on there just given the reception.
Maybe, but I don't know.
Although he is on a major label and more streams on a single equals more sales. So
yeah, I would think that his label wouldn't let him. My guess is that and this one and Pokemon are all going to be on the album because Sunflower was on the album.
I don't like this. Oh, no.
Yeah. Lest we forget about the Sunflower debacle.
I forgot about that.
But I think out of the three, I think this one's probably my favorite.
I would agree.
Yeah, Post was great. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of just like cemented in my head how good of a vocalist The Weeknd is, though, because like
he wasn't even like really trying.
He wasn't even trying. But Post on the chorus, he was kind of straining, which isn't the worst because he does that. But yeah, I was just like, okay, well, all right, The Weeknd, what are you doing next? I'm more excited for the new Weeknd thing than I am for the new Post thing, if I'm being honest.
Sure. Yeah.
Whatever this, what is it? Until Dawn? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Dawn or something.
Something about the Dawn because it's after hours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I did enjoy it. I don't know. It wasn't like I wasn't.
I liked it.
disappointed.
It was just not enough for me to be like, wow,
I mean, it's not the best song I've ever heard.
No, and it just sounds like a song that's going to chart really well, which is fine. But it's not one that I'm going to listen to a lot.
Yeah.
Just given like all of After Hours sounds like it could chart #1, and all of it felt like it had more to it.
Yeah. I think comparing this to After Hours is doing a disservice. I think comparing it to Hollywood's Bleeding is more apt.
Oh yeah, in terms of Hollywood's Bleeding material, this is like good stuff. I've been liking what Post has been doing the past month. The Young Thug feature he had was really great.
I think that might be my favorite stuff that he's done recently.
Yeah.
That chorus is a banger. Mm-hmm. Well, that whole song's pretty good.
Yeah, that's like the Beer Bongs and Bentley stuff that I really love.
Yeah, please do more of that. And honestly, I do.
I don't like telling artists to be singular, but he's so good at that one thing that
Yeah,
it feels weird that he's like going the complete mainstream pop route.
I mean, he's probably one of the biggest names in pop right now. Uh, like up there with Billie Eilish and The Weeknd and
The Weeknd.
Sufjan Stevens.
Sylvia Stevens. JPEG Mafia.
JPEG Mafia.
Big chart toppers.
Joe Budden.
Joe Budden. This isn't 2005.
Oh, sorry.
Unfortunately.
But yeah, I don't know. I dug the track. So.
It was cool. I think I would have liked it more if it came out in another week. Just because there was so much on my plate this week.
This is the only thing I had. So.
Let me go to Travis Scott. Then I'll go to the big stuff.
Right.
But I do need to talk about this Terrace Martin song, though. I haven't listened to the whole album yet. I haven't had time because they did drop with the whole album. Terrace Martin, you will know him from a lot of production on To Pimp a Butterfly.
Okay.
Saxophonist, multi-instrumentalist, producer. New album out. But I need to talk about Drones, the title track. Features Kendrick Lamar, Snoop Dogg, and Ty Dolla $ign.
Whoa.
The song is amazing. And I don't know why it's not like everywhere.
Huh.
Yeah. This is like some of the grooviest, like, oh my God. This is Silk Sonic level, like, throwback, like, fantastic stuff. Yeah. Kendrick doesn't have a verse, but I don't mind that he doesn't have a verse because he still does his thing.
What's he doing?
He's doing a hook, kind of. But
okay.
It's like an old school, like, funk thing, so it's not really like a set, like, chorus or hook. It's kind of just like a free-flowing kind of, like, mood.
Okay.
And then Ty Dolla $ign comes in at the end. It's like, oh. I didn't listen to it, like, when it came out because I was going to listen to the whole album, and then I realized it was Saturday or yesterday, and I was at a movie. And I'm like, man, I'm not going to have time to listen to everything.
Yeah.
So I just put this on the way home, and I'm like, oh, my God. This is as good as I thought it was going to be. But I had to listen to the whole album still.
Yeah.
Which will probably be pretty great. I mean, I'm a sucker for saxophone stuff, and this thing looks pretty groovy.
Mm-hmm.
Even features, you have Corday and Smino, Robert Glasper, Kamasi Washington, Leon Bridges.
Leon Bridges, good boy.
This thing's going to be good.
Yeah.
So I'll get back to that. But this is one of my favorite songs all year, for sure.
Okay.
Radiohead did their Kid Amnesiac, whatever they're calling it, release. Basically just like a collector's like re-release thing. They did it with OK Computer in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
But everything's where it should be. I haven't listened to like the base albums yet. I'm guessing they sound pretty much the same. I don't know how much you can remaster an album that's mainly electronic.
Yeah.
But they added like the disc 3 full of B-sides and outtakes, and it's still really good. Big surprise. Wow. Two of the best albums of like the early 2000s have good B-sides, but
who'd have thought?
I like that they don't just throw them on.
Yeah.
Like most like re-releases of like the Beatles and stuff, they'll just like slap songs on there.
Right.
Be like, here's some like lost stuff. Mm-hmm. This one they sequence the whole album from it.
Okay.
So if you like go from like the last track on Amnesiac and then into like what's coming, it all flows. Like the first 7 tracks all flow into each other.
Interesting.
It feels like the album kind of like disintegrates, and you're kind of just listening to like little ambient things that they were working on or went somewhere else. Mm-hmm. But it all kind of connects. There's a couple of songs that are like new songs and they're fully fleshed out that go over pretty well. But like they have like Spinning Plates. Like Spinning Plates is a really weird song because on Amnesiac they pulled the Twin Peaks. The instrumental is a different song reversed, and then Tom York sung the entire song backwards, and then they made it go forwards.
Oh, okay.
So it's like one of the most disorienting things.
Yeah.
So they literally Twin Peaksed it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very legible. So I don't know how you can sing that well backwards, but good job, I guess. But this one is him singing it forwards over a piano type thing, and it's really great.
Okay.
a lot of it is just like more acoustic stuff with just Tom going crazy, and it's fantastic. I don't know how these are outtakes, but even like the just what Kid A gets me is just like this so atmospheric and like puts you in a weird place, and it's so like mysterious. They kind of combine that with more basic piano tracks, and it's like really great. So I don't know how you do this where you just pull it together like this, but great job. Um, now I need like that Smile project to come through. Just that came up, and they had like that one festival where they performed as the Smile with like Tom and two other people. So hopefully that comes soon. I'm gonna need that. But that was cool.
Should
I
just
don't know.
music.
You can hold it till next year. It's been enough this year, to be honest.
And we still got more.
Yeah, we still got more. Amine dropped 2.5 EP. He usually does this before, like in between album releases, where he'll go like more experimental kind of. He had one before Limbo. Limbo was last year. That felt like 2 years ago. But this is, I think Charmander is still the best song. I talked about that last week. It's like a weird hyper pop rap song. I still think that's the best song. That song is so ridiculously catchy. But this one is just fun. It's just like, there's some like Playboy Cardi type beats on here, which is really weird because it doesn't match his style at all. But it's very like dancey. It's like dance, like club music almost.
Oh, okay.
But all the songs are very short. It's concise, but he's got that personality where he's just like fun. Just one of those fun people. He's like Anderson .Paak. He's just got that charisma.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's just like, you know who I am.
Yeah.
But that was very cool. Looking forward to what his album's going to be eventually. I feel like he wouldn't release one next year, but I didn't expect him to release any form of content this year. So who knows? Oh yeah, I do need to talk about Earth Gang because Earth Gang announced the release date for their new album. It's going to be January 22nd, I think, of next year.
Oh, okay. So we got a minute.
Yes, but I mean, at least they announced it. Dreamville's been teasing all their artist albums for way too long. Same with Jid. Jid was supposed to announce his like in the summer, and still nothing. Now he's just a League of Legends character.
What?
So we'll figure that out.
I know they had the song. Wait, they made him a League of Legends character?
No.
Oh.
That'd be fun though. I think they had Denzel Curry in like the opening for Worlds too, where they do like a mocap kind of thing. They're like still real people, and they make like real environments from the game.
Oh, okay.
Still kind of cool. Riot Productions, just insane.
They do some weirdo stuff.
Yeah, but excited from Earth Gang. I'm excited on where they're going. The last single they dropped was an absolute dud, and I don't like it, so hopefully they don't go in that direction. But
okay.
I trust in them. We'll see what happens with that. But Snail Mail is the last thing I have to talk about, and I just listened to it today, so I'm going to have to give updated thoughts next week probably if I listen to it more.
Okay.
But pretty good indie rock. Future of rock is definitely female, as we kind of know with Lucy and Julian Baker and now Snail Mail and Soccer Mommy and all these things. This is another
You're forgetting
great one.
About Black Midi,
best
Black
Midi,
rock
our
group.
famous female rap group, rock group,
Yeah.
But indie rock, pretty like it's what you expect. I can't say anything's like too crazy about it yet. There were a couple songs that were like really, really good and stood out, but the rest are probably just gonna grow. And this isn't like, it was like Lucy's like Historian, like that one got me right away because we were sitting down and listening to it on camera.
Mm-hmm.
This one I was kind of doing other stuff and listening to it.
Okay.
But her voice like really reminds me of Soccer Mommy, like a lot, to the point where I looked it up to see if this is like a side project for her, but it's not. It's like got more of that. It's a little rough around the edges. It's like more powerful than you would get from like a Phoebe Bridgers, but the instrumentals were kind of more like that.
Okay.
But with like some more rock elements thrown in, but still pretty good. I need to listen to it a lot more though, because this is off of one listen.
Yeah.
Still liking it. It's short. It's like 30. What is it? Yeah, 30 minutes. So
yeah, it was showing up on my Spotify page.
Yeah.
I do
It's
like
very in
art.
tune with what we've been listening to with like Mitski and Lucy and all that. So
Yeah, I kind of gathered that from the
yeah,
album art, which I do
yes,
dig. I do dig the album art. Very
it's
cool.
pretty cool. It is weird that she released it in November and not February though. It's kind of weird.
Why? What's it? Oh, it's
If you
called.
don't know, yeah, it's called Valentine. She released it.
Yeah,
Come on,
kind of a
what are you doing?
stupid move,
Stupid
frankly.
move. Horrible marketing. Worse marketing than Silk Sonic.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
I don't know
whoa,
if I go that
whoa,
far.
whoa. I don't know if anything can beat that.
Yeah, just like the biggest like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. And then 7 months later, nothing happens. Until next week.
Until next week when it's all gonna be worth it.
It's all gonna be worth it, probably. Hopefully. I'm fingers crossed. And it has to be. There's no way it's not good.
I don't know how Anderson .Paak
Especially
and Bruno
when it's
Mars.
9 tracks.
I mean, it's got to be like super concise, right?
Yeah. They probably recorded like what, 20 songs, took the best 9, put them on there.
Yeah.
That
probably.
It'll be good. It'll be good.
I still really enjoy Skate. So
yeah, I haven't given Skate as much love, but
Skate's great.
I've been intentionally holding off for like the whole album experience. So
yeah, that's true.
And again, it's a weird time for this album to be coming out because it's a summer album. So.
It sure is. Wow.
I can't deal with this, but whatever. I feel like I'm forgetting stuff, but I feel like I forget stuff every week because I don't write anything down.
Maybe you should start writing stuff down.
I don't want to. It's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it. So stay tuned next week for our first reaction to Silk Sonic's new album.
That's true.
Debut album, I guess.
Silk Sonic. I believe it's called An Evening with Silk Sonic.
Yes.
So I'm excited.
We'll have an evening with Silk Sonic.
We sure will. Whether it's an enjoyable evening or an uncomfortable racist afternoon with my relatives at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be exactly that, but I'm just saying that vibe, you know. Yeah. I would hope that wouldn't be the vibe I'm getting from that album, but
no, this isn't like this isn't like a Kanye West sit down like interview.
This isn't like that time we listened to the Tom McDonald album.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Remember when we did that for real, and that's a video that's on the Boytime channel?
Oh God, don't make me do it.
Check out the Boytime channel for our Tom McDonald reaction.
Don't make me do it.
I'm doing a thing where I get them to click on our channel to check it out, and then it's not there, and then they got, and then they check out.
Don't make them ask for it though, because I don't want to do it.
We will listen to Tom McDonald if you tell us to. I don't think he even has an album. That's
going to attract the wrong kind of comment section too.
Whatever.
It's fine. Whatever. But Kanye had that one interview too this week. That was a music thing that happened.
I saw that it was like a thing. I don't know what happened.
They got the man drinking and then just let him talk, which is like never a good thing ever. Yeah, it's like 2.5 hours. I haven't listened to the whole thing. I've just taken out bits and parts of it, and it's what you'd expect from Kanye. So,
okay, great.
It's just frustrating because he gets so close to having good points, but he can't stay on track for more than 30 seconds before he goes off into something else.
Yeah,
and then it just looks really weird.
Well, especially when he's drunk.
Yeah, like man, you're so close to like being, like having the point and like having a really good point, but then he just completely derails it every single time. It's fine. I know his actions speak louder than words, and they always do.
That's right.
But it's just still uncomfortable to hear things that he says.
Sure is.
Although it was funny that he called out Soulja Boy for having a bad verse, and that's why it wasn't on Donda. So,
I didn't
Soulja Boy
hear
got
that.
really mad. Yeah.
That seems on brand, though. Like,
yeah.
That's not a surprise.
It's always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it's really funny. Parts of it are really funny. I've seen some clips of it. It's really funny, but I don't know. Maybe I'll listen to 2.5 hours of it, but that feels like a massive chore. So
yeah, I don't know if that would even be worth it. Unless
Probably
he talks
not.
about Donda 2.
He did say that Donda Deluxe is a thing.
Oh,
so
okay. Well,
we will be getting that for sure.
seems like really early to make a deluxe album.
Oh, some people drop deluxes 2 days after the album comes out if it flops. So
well, Donda. Well, I guess Donda did kind of flop.
Donda did. It didn't flop. It just didn't beat Certified Lover Boy in sales. which everybody knew wasn't gonna happen. So,
Well, I think like even the reception was kind of negative for Donda.
well, every Kanye album has negative reception. This is
Yeah.
normal. Like every like major news publication gives negative reviews because of not the music, because
Oh.
of his antics. Which, if
'Cause
you're
of-
rating his antics, then you'd be correct. But they don't rate the art ever.
Right.
Yeah, but we'll see. I think we already kind of know what's being on the deluxe because the stem players, like he released the stem player with Donda on it, with this like new technology, which is really cool.
Wait, what? What is a stem player?
So you can, all the tracks are loaded, and you can basically like isolate vocals or any part of the instrumental.
Oh, freak.
So
That's pretty epic.
kind of really, it's really innovative actually. I don't think anything's been done like that, and it's like really easy to use.
Whoa,
And you can load your own songs on there and have that. So
freak. That sounds
really
sick.
cool. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff you've been working on. But we know Life of the Party is on the stem player, and it doesn't have the Drake diss verse. So it has the Andre verse, and it has a good Kanye verse.
Oh, heck
So
yeah.
that should be coming to streaming when the deluxe comes out, and I'm excited.
I
It's even censored. The Andre verse is censored on the stem player. So we know that it could happen.
Wait, what was going on with the censor?
He just didn't want it on the album because like Andre didn't know he couldn't swear.
Is Donda clean?
Yeah.
Oh,
Donda's been clean.
well, apparently. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's clean.
Oh,
So
okay.
Andre didn't know that, but they censored on the stem
Why-
player, so that means it could very well come to streaming.
Why didn't they tell him?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, when you make an entire album full of 24 songs within the span of a month while living in a stadium, I think things like this just kind of happen.
Still, like,
It's like, oh, I can't swear. I have to rewrite the verse. No, wait, there's no time.
I guess. It's kind of lame, though, getting
Yeah.
Andre off. Like, I don't know. Do we know, like, if there was any other, like, big names that were on Donda that didn't make the cut?
Except for Soulja Boy, no.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if that's a big name. I don't.
No, it's
He's not a
just
big
fun.
pull. Well, I was gonna talk about Ted Lasso because I've been watching that show,
Okay.
but we're at an hour 50, and I haven't finished the show yet. So I think I'll just save it for next
Wait
week
till
when
next
I've finished the show. I think, what do I have? Like 5 episodes left of the second season. I watched the first season when it came out, and then my mom got Apple TV Plus, and she was like, "Here's the login." I'm like, "Okay, epic."
It's cool.
So I finally got around to watching season 2, and I gotta say, it's really good. It's
Hot take.
it's exactly what I needed right now. It gets a little bit old going through the Twin Peaks grind. It's nice to just have a nice mustachioed Midwestern man teach some Englishmen some football.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's very silly. And I
So
like
our little animation thing that last week was good.
Yeah. Over the Garden Wall and Adventure Time was nice.
Yeah,
And
much
now
needed.
we're
Now
getting
we're
back into
digging
slog.
back into it for the last time, hopefully. So
David Lynch, stop making TV. I don't want to watch anymore.
I'm done watching your stuff.
Honestly, I think after this, I'm going to take a long David Lynch break.
Oh, for sure.
I am done.
Way too much thought goes into every single night of like watching TV now. So it's like I have to like. It's very heady at all
Yes.
times.
I think I've seen the big hitters though. So like once I've seen Twin Peaks and Eraserhead and Mulholland Drive, I feel like I don't need to watch any of his side stuff. I might watch the monkey thing because that's just funny. But I also don't know what the monkey thing is. It could be really sad and depressing too. But he's interviewing a monkey.
How sad could that be?
It can't be. Well, they put like a mouth on the monkey too, so I don't know.
That's funny.
That is funny, so it should be hilarious. Probably. guys. Want to end the podcast? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Paul will be back in 3 years.